Hello everybody, I am David, and today I want to talk about Collider Video's next 5 films in their top 50 superhero movies of all time. This is going to be 10 to 6, so let's get right into this. I'm going to tell you where I would place them on my list and how I feel about it on their list. So at number 10, they have X2, X-Men United, which I have at 15, so I don't have it too far off. Actually, a lot of these I have in my top 20, pretty much. X2 is a really great X-Men film, definitely one of the best X-Men films, and I kind of had a feeling it was going to make it in their top 20s as well. I didn't think it would make it in their top 10s, so that was kind of surprising, mostly because I feel like even though at the time it was really, really good, I feel like there have been a lot of other superhero films that have surpassed it in what it accomplished. And that's not to take away from X2. I think X2 is still a really well-made film. I just think by today's standards, we've gotten so much better. But X2 is still one of the best. I don't want to make it sound like I'm knocking X2 down. After all, I have it at 15, so it's not that much off from where I have it. So there you go on that. Next on their list, they have the original Iron Man. I actually have Iron Man 19 on my list, so I have it near the bottom of my top 20. But I'm not surprised that they have it in their top 10 because Iron Man is the one that started off the MCU. And I am going to admit, it is a really well-made film. I think it does have some small weaknesses. I actually did like Jeff Bridges as Obadiah Stane. I think, a lot of people, they always say, oh, the Marvel villains are kind of the weak spots in these MCU films. Jeff Bridges was pretty good. I liked him. The 10 Rings were what they were. But Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. as this character was phenomenal. And Jon Favreau did such a great job. I'm actually one of the few people that think Iron Man 2 is just as good as Iron Man 1. I even love Iron Man 3. But I know some people already did like Iron Man 3 to an extent, up till the Mandarin part. But I like all 3 Iron Man movies, and Iron Man 2, to me, it didn't even make their top 50, but I would put it in my top 20, so Iron Man 1 and 2, are both great movies, but I can see how people might like the first one a lot more. It was the first one to get things started, and they focused on making a really good movie, and they succeeded, so there's much respect to that in that sense. Next on their list, they had Wonder Woman at number 8. Wonder Woman almost made my top 20. I had Wonder Woman at 22. And I know this one is causing a lot of debate among people on that video, because I saw a lot of the dislikes were more than the likes. And a lot of people were arguing, how could this movie be so much up there? For me, I understood why it was up there. I wouldn't put it in my top 10. I thought it was a really good movie, just like Iron Man. I thought there were some weaknesses, though. And also because I think there are a lot more superhero movies that are out there that are perfect or almost perfect, that they deserve to be higher up. For me, I think Dark Knight Rises is better than Wonder Woman. A lot of people might disagree with that. That's fine. But that's just me. I think Iron Man 1 and 2 are better than Wonder Woman. I think all 3 Thor movies are probably better than Wonder Woman. Again, that's just me. So, but I get why it would make someone's top 10. It doesn't have to be a female. I hate when people think, oh, you're just saying that because you don't want women to go after you. No, I'm going to say what I think. And I don't think you have to be a woman to put it in your top 10. I think you could be a guy and put it in your top 10 as well. I wouldn't argue against you, because I can see for what it did to the movie industry and the future of superhero movies now moving forward for female superheroes. Remember, this is the first good female superhero movie that we have finally got done right. I mean, on television, it has had some success with like Jessica Jones and Supergirl, and even back with the Wonder Woman TV series from the 70s with Linda Carter. And then you can even add non-superhero or just like regular heroes like Xena, Warrior Princess. I mean, there were some strong female presence on television, but this came at the right time when movies like Hunger Games and Star Wars: The Force Awakens, when female-led movies were starting to come to frustration, and I think Wonder Woman came out at the right time with the right director. I'm glad Patty Jenkins is getting all the love she deserves right now, because she definitely knocked this one out of the park and showed that, see, anybody can direct these movies, even a woman. Anybody. So, and we know Black Panther hopefully will do the same for African Americans. Looking forward to that one as well. So I'm hoping for another year of a celebrated film that we can show this industry that, hey, look, people who direct these movies don't always have to be Caucasian white males. They can be anybody, because we need to move forward in the future if we want to become better as people. At hiring more diversity. At number 7, they have The Incredibles. I'm not surprised The Incredibles made it into the top 10. The Incredibles is an awesome Pixar film. It's my second favorite Pixar film of all time, right behind Toy Story 3. Definitely one of the best superhero movies of all time. I have The Incredibles almost in my top 10. It's actually the highest one I have on my list of all these movies. The Incredibles, I had it at number 12. So, yeah, definitely deserving of the top 10. I wouldn't argue against it. I'm actually pretty happy with this list this week on Collider's videos. I think they have a good group of movies here this week. And I think next week is going to be another great group of films. But yeah, The Incredibles, obviously the best animated superhero film out there. And I had to say this. You know, I was watching the video, and Josh McCouga, if you guys know Collider Movie Talk, Josh McCouga says The Incredibles, he wouldn't put it on the list because he doesn't consider it a superhero movie, because it's animated. Look, I like Josh McCouga. I'm going to say this now. Go watch the video if you don't believe me, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, because you guys have to see what he says about The Incredibles. He apparently, on Collider's videos channel, apparently he doesn't, yeah, that's the reason. He doesn't think it's a superhero movie because it's animated. Okay. I don't know what kind of crack you're taking, Josh, but it must be good crack. I'll just say that much. Finally, today, they released their newest video. At number 6, Superman, the original Superman movie from 1978, starring Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder. They had Superman 2 not too long ago. Superman 2 made it to number 21 on their list. Superman 2 is the only Christopher Reeve movie I have in my top 50, literally at number 50. But it would be pushed down if I were to add some of the movies that they've had it on their list that I thought about, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I would put that on my top 50. But the original Superman I do not have, because, yeah, the Superman 2 I consider the better film of those original films. Not to knock down Superman, the original film, at any way, because I do think for its time it was a really good movie, and it does hold up pretty well. It does feel outdated in some areas, but I feel like, other than it feeling a little outdated, that would probably be the only reason I wouldn't put it in my top 50. I think there are so many other but I also respect the fact that it made it in the top 10, because when you look at a lot of directors today, whether you like the original Batman film with Danny Elfman, with Tim Burton directing, or Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, or Patty Jenkins said she directed Wonder Woman, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. All those directors. The reason I'm naming all those directors, I don't know about Tim Burton, but the rest of them, Nolan, Bryan Singer, Patty Jenkins, they were all inspired by the original Superman film. All of them, when they did interviews, they've all said that in some way or another, the original Superman is what they looked back to for inspiration. Patty Jenkins said the No Man's Land scene was supposed to be that moment in the original Superman movie where he saves the helicopter from falling and rescues Lois. There were some other moments too that were very Superman-ish. Christopher Nolan stated that the casting of Batman Begins was how he casted, was inspired by the casting of the original Superman film back in 1978 when they casted an unknown actor, or relatively unknown actor, with Christopher Reeve, who was very much like Christian Bale. Christian Bale wasn't a huge name in Hollywood when people knew of him from American Psycho and other films that he did, but he wasn't known by the mass audience like he is today. Very like Christopher Reeve, he was a no name, but now he is, thanks to Batman Begins, and he was surrounded by A-list stars. Like for the original Superman movie, it was Gene Hackman, Marlon Brando, what's his name? The actor who played Jonathan Kent, whose name is escaping me right now. And with Batman Begins, they casted Liam Neeson, Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, Gary Oldman, with a great cast like that. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, you can feel it in the tone with balancing the comedy and the drama. The campiness was very similar to the Christopher Reeve Superman movie that even Sam Raimi himself had a little one-liner joke to Superman in that first Sam Raimi film. So, I mean, that's just some of the few that have been inspired by the original Superman movie. So you have to show it a little bit of respect. Even if you don't love it, you have to give it that respect on how much influence it still has today. People still refer back to it. And it just got brought into the National Film Institute, I think, honoring it as one of the... I forgot exactly what it was, but yeah, it was honored lately with something that a lot of people were very proud that it took this long to finally get it into. So with that being said, I think this week's list is really well done. And I'm looking forward to the last 5, man. What ranking are they going to be taking? For sure, the ranking, I don't know about the ranking, but the movies are definitely going to be Logan, Captain America Civil War, Captain America Winter Soldier, The Dark Knight, and The Avengers. Those are the last 5 left that have not made the list. And we know people, even on Collider, love those films. What ranking are they going to take place in? That's the interesting question, because I can see Logan being number 1. Even though I wouldn't put it at number 1, I can see it getting to number 1, because they did this sometime a couple months after that movie had come out and before Thor Ragnarok and Justice League came out. So with that being said, guys, I want you to comment below. Tell me what you think about these 5 films that I just talked about. And how do you feel about the rankings, etc.? Where would you place them on your list? I don't know. Comment below and have a discussion about it. And I hope you guys like this video. Subscribe to my channel. And until next time, take care.